G'day all, Dave here from Urban Wheels, coming to you from the cellar today. Today we have here is the E-Glide G60 up for review. This little scooter here rolls in at $7.99. It's a really good starter, really good price point. So let's get into it. What comes in the box? Scooter, of course. There's a little book, comes with it there. Nice little brief guide in there as to how to do things. Little extension lead for your air compressor in order to charge your tyres up. Now this is a pretty important little thing that you don't lose this because you will need it to inflate that front tyre. The tyres come with about 10 pound of pressure in them, but you do need to make sure you're pumping up to roughly around that 35-40 pound before you start. The other thing that's in the box is the charger. That's that end of that, goes in there, boom, you're away. And we'll get back to that a bit more in a minute. Motor wise, 350 watts in the front motor only, on pneumatic tyres wrapped around both front and rear 8.5 inch pneumatics. Weight rating on this one's 100 kilos. I sit at about 95 kilos and I'm 6'6". And it's quite a comfortable ride for me. With the pneumatic tyres, it is really smooth. Typically designed for concrete and bitumen. It's not an off-road scooter, of course, but you know, ride comfort on this is equal, I believe, to more expensive scooters that are in the market. Brakes on this one, there's a regen brake in the front here. And mechanical brake on the back. Obviously brake lever up the top there. As soon as you squeeze that in, the regen brake will start working, and then the mechanical brake will take over. The other thing that you do have with this one is on the back here is a standard foot type brake there, which works on friction on the tyre. The other thing that's attached to that is a switch here, which will also engage the regen brake if you'd like to scoot with your foot up and use it like so. Battery in this one's pretty cool. The battery's not in the bottom here. As you can see, it's very thin. Now that's just solid aluminium deck down there. The battery in this one is in the stem. Battery's actually removable. It's a Panasonic battery in here. It's done very simply by this little clasp here. Push that in, lift that up, and that's your main display. Pull that bugger out, locks the battery in, reach in here, there's a little blue cord there, grab him, pull him out, and there's your battery. So, as I said, yeah, Panasonic battery there. Capacity on that one, 6.4 amp hours, 42 volts. So this one here will get you roughly about 25 Ks on a single charge. The ability that you do have with this battery is to charge it from the bottom here rather than having to charge it through here. So if you do live in a Queensland or up here in North Queensland, or even in a unit in Sydney, leave your scooter downstairs, bang your battery out, charger upstairs, plug him in the bottom there, away you go. When you go to work or you're going to the shops next, take him down, drop him in and off you go. Other alternative is, of course, you can buy another battery, put it in your backpack, take it with you if you need some more mileage, and hot swap them in and out. There's a little keyway on it on both sides. It can only go in one way. One's bigger than the other. And again, to put it in, lift it up, drop him in, make sure he's lined up, and it just slides on in. Tuck your little cord down, get the spring in. Everyone's familiar with the way that works on a little bayonet fitting. Drop that down, click it in place, and then you're away you go. Power on button on this one's on the top here. Turn him on. Not sure if you heard that or not. The power's on now and the LCD display's up. If I hit the brake now, the brake light will be flashing. That's it there. Little headlight on the front of this one. Turn that on, double press the little button up the top here that's got the lines on it. And that should have come on there, and that's the light there. This light's pretty good. Goes really well down the streets. Probably wouldn't take it through the deep dark rainforest in the middle of the night, but there's a bit of room here to add an additional light if you want to put on the top there. But this light actually works and performs pretty well. Again, to turn that off, 3-line button there, double press that, and it should turn that off. Now, that while we're on that 3-line button, that also changes your gear modes, one press at a time in between gear modes. So there's 3 gears on this one, 0 being slow, blue drive being medium, red drive being fast. Top speed, 25 kilometers an hour as limited in Australia. Folding mechanism on this one is one of the simplest around. I'll just turn it that way a little bit so you can see. Little safety clasp here, pull that to the side. This main one here pulls down, and if you look, this main safety block here might be shielded a little bit. This big silver safety block will actually move forward. See that there, moving forward, and that's the main locking block. From there, this just folds down quite simply and clips into the back, brake, and off you go. Lift him up, put him in the boot at, I believe, 12.5 kilos, which is great mum for the boys or girls to be able to lift that up and put it in the boot for you, no problems whatsoever. Who's this one for? This one's for learners, people starting out, teenagers, those who are happy, to sit and cruise along at a cheap price point. Not a huge amount of extra features, which we'll get into in some of the other models, but it's a really good scooter for the price at $799. You're sub $1,000. The next step up from this is its big brother, which is called the G120. This is the G60, so the 120. The 120 essentially gives you bigger tyres and a bigger battery, so bigger range, a little bit more ground clearance, a little bit better ride quality, and that's pretty much it. And you're still at $1,000 there. What don't I like about it? One thing I don't like about it is the cruise control function. We didn't touch on that before, but there is a built-in cruise in this unit, and that works off the thumb throttle. The thumb throttle I prefer over a trigger type throttle because it's a lot more ergonomic riding it. But the issue here is when you hold it in a certain position or you hit a certain speed, say 10 kilometers an hour, for more than 6 seconds, it locks on the cruise, and that the machine gives you a little beep to do that. As you scoot, you sort of tend to do this. Now you might hold for 6 seconds and it will beep at you, but then you speed up, and then you'll hold it there for 6 seconds, it will beep at you again, and then you slow down, and it will beep at you again. And after a while, it beeping at you every 6 seconds gets a little bit annoying. It's a matter of learning how to ride it from that perspective and holding it there, getting a comfortable speed, letting the thumb off, and then just scooting around and having a bit of fun, cruising along. Obviously, at any point, hit the brake, hit the throttle, the cruise control will cut off. But it's an intricacy that you need to learn. LCD display, super bright sunlight. It actually performs pretty well, and it performs better than some of the big end brands. It's a little bit lackluster in what it will tell you. It's really only giving you speed, battery voltage, and gear. And there's no app or anything that you can connect to your phone to change settings or anything like that. It's straightforward. Good little bell though. Really good little bell. Good solid. Nice. Almost forgot. Dave's top number one tip. I did mention this earlier. It's critical that you keep hold of it. Otherwise, inflating that front tyre or checking pressures in that front tyre is going to be difficult just because of the access here. Now, when you get this out of the box, the handlebars are detached from the stem, from the main stem, and they screw in, one clockwise, one counterclockwise. Now, if you, I'd suggest that you leave the left-hand one fixed and in, take the right-hand one, unscrew it, yeah, it's hollow on the inside. Stash that in there, slip him back in, and do him back up. Obviously counterclockwise in this situation because you're pulling on. Now, if you're down the street and you need the adapter, you know you got it. Righto. I'll sign off from the seller, and again, Eagle Eye G60, $7.99. Come ride the revolution with us, guys. It's great fun.